Hi, hello, and welcome. I'm definitely not Vlad, and you're watching the first episode of the Ranged DPS part of I'm Mastering All Roles series, where we take a role and hit Keystone Master with it. People voted for this to be the next role in the series after Tank, and they voted for Elemental Shaman, so we'll go ahead and make a Maghar Orc Shaman. I'm not choosing Maghar because they're the best or anything, I just like the idea of a blind Orc Shaman electrocuting everything in sight, so I also made Inura blind in both eyes. I won't be showing you much of the leveling process, as it's just spamming the classic time walking dungeons, except for the four different times I accidentally queued up for Dragonflight dungeons. DPS queues for it have been obnoxiously long, so I also hunted some rare spawns while I wasn't playing Clash of Clans between dungeons. What I will show you is the Fresh 80 gear up process. To get started, I bought all the gear a Fresh 80 Shaman could possibly want from the Siren Isle and slapped it onto Inur. I then collected every single renown reward I could get my hands on, including the juicy enchanted crest from Severed Threads. I didn't use this to craft anything before I exhaust all my other gearing options, because I don't want to risk crafting an item and then getting one that's for the same slot from Delves or something. Speaking of Delves, yes, I'll use up all of the keys I get from both the renown rewards and weekly rewards. So I'll have to do 8 tier 8 bountiful Delves, and it'll take 2 days as you can only do 4 bountiful Delves a day. On top of all that, I'll be doing the Chromie Codex and Blackrock Depths raid weekly quests for another 2 champion pieces. Now it's time to craft the leftover slots, which means we should do the answer quest for another enchanted rune crest. It's a really short quest line to get to the answer quest, and you can do it in story mode. Altogether it takes about 15 minutes. With that done, Inur is now as strong as he can be for our first key, outside of some lucky drops in LFR, so let's switch to live commentary Vlad for the first key. Alright, it is finally time to actually go and do some M+. Hey, nice bird mount, bro. We're gonna go ahead and get our first key. We're gonna talk to Lindormi. I'm thinking about maybe trying to join a 5 key so that I get a 4 key, but I have a feeling with 604 and 0 rating, I might not get invited. Let's give it a quick shot. I'll give it like 5 minutes of queuing into 5 keys. The reason I would like to queue for 5 keys is because doing a 2 key doesn't actually give you hero vault, and I would like to have at least 2 hero slots in the vault for the next week, because I'm recording this on Saturday, the same day this goes live, hopefully. It's very early in the morning. I got up very early and did 4 delves just to get the 8 delves out of the way and get us to 604 item level. So I'm going to go ahead and try and jump into a +5. So we're going to go look for 5 to 5. We're just going to hope for the best, honestly. I'm going to apply to groups that have tanks and healers and stuff like that. I don't really care which dungeon we do. I sincerely doubt I'm going to get invited over the other choices that people have available. Yeah, see, I'm already getting declined or ignored. So it's just going to be a rough one. I don't think it's going to be easy to get into groups. Again, I will try and jump into a +5. I'll give it like 5 minutes, and if it doesn't work out, I'll just form my own +2 group and call it a day.
A few moments later.
All right, it's not looking too motivating. I basically have a chat log full of declines and the D-lists and whatnot. So we're just going to give up on this. We're going to go ahead and go over to Lindormi and get our +2 key and just get started pushing it up ourselves. I think this might be actually beneficial for me because I've only done delves and like time walking dungeons, so I can't really say that I've done much to really learn my class. I have blasted some dummies, figured out what my rotation should be. It takes a lot of my concentration to actually do that, so I'm going to apologize in advance if my commentary is lacking. I'm going to say sorry. I'm also kind of fatigued from running delves. Delves are the most miserable form of content I've ever had to endure in this gameplay. In this game, I should say, not in the gameplay. The reason I said gameplay because I'm thinking of the gameplay is basically getting slammed in the face by melee attacks and that being the whole thing. But I gotta say the gear is pretty worth it. It's not the most amazing gear I've ever gotten, obviously, but I've bumped up my item level significantly. It's 14 higher thanks to the ring and all of the delve gear. It's 14 item levels higher than I would have it otherwise. 574 for a +2. Do we risk it for the biscuit? Let's see. Having a tank, even this low item level, will help us get a better selection of other characters for the run. I'm going to grab exclusively people lower than my item level because that's kind of the people that apply to +2 rings. See, this 604 rogue I'm not going to invite, but I'm going to invite, I don't know, this 599 rogue. And maybe a blood DK, or sorry, not a blood DK, but a DK, just a DPS DK might be a thing. I'm pretty sure that rogue just canceled on me. Yes, they did. Okay, whatever. Let's invite the DK and then wait for a healer, and we'll invite a healer and maybe their friend potentially, and then we'll get started with a +2 Necrotic Wake. Here we are getting started with the first run. This is our group. We do have someone who matches our item level, but that's literally because I ran out of people to invite. I wanted another ranged DPS, and my option was a 605 Enhancement Shaman and this 604. Jesus, Salatath, take it easy. They need to add a volume setting for her. But yeah, it was the 604 Balance Druid, which is ranged DPS, obviously something I want. Or the, whatchamacallit. Okay, let me focus up here. I need to focus up, Lord knows. I am not very good at this. So we're going to go ahead and try and just do our rotation. That's going to be my primary focus right now. I don't care too much about tactics or anything like that. I'm trying to get my damage out. As you can see, it is significant because we are like ahead in item level of most of these people. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this spear. So what am I doing? I'm trying to spread my flame shocks as much as possible. I'm trying to weave earth shock into earthquake as much as possible. And then whenever I don't have whenever I don't have Maelstrom available, I'm trying to get Maelstrom by using Chain Lightning and whatnot. It's not very important outside of the Primordial Wave window. It's not very important. Oh no, Tank, please taunt. No, Tank's dead. Where is Tank? No, Tank's coming back. Okay, that was a little bit messy. I don't know who pulled this or how, but I know that it happened. Salatath yelling at us in the background. Here's the Devour thing. We're going to drop Poison Cleansing Totem, help the group out with that. I don't know if this is already procced once and I completely ignored it or not because I've just been too focused on my rotation and explaining what exactly I'm doing. But yeah, the idea is I'm going to weave in these two and build Maelstrom in the meantime. The only time I look for Lava Burst is single target or when I have Primordial Wave up, because we use Primordial Wave to build up a whole bunch of haste by sending out that one Lava Burst onto multiple targets, right? Because we have a talent that makes it give us a bunch of haste for each target hit, so we want to just make sure that we're utilizing that. Here I made the mistake of sending out a Lava Burst when there was really no reason to. We're going to go ahead and tap these guys off. So far I feel like I'm doing okay, but I am beyond stressed out because this is my first actual run with this. Here I should have used Stormkeeper before I had used my thingy thing with the stuffy stuff. That person really shouldn't be running like that. Before using Ascendance, I should have used Stormkeeper, but it's not a huge deal. We're going to jump in this direction, try and cut off the boss so we don't get stuck in these silence puddles. I failed at using my spear. I'm going to use it now and hopefully no one notices. Hopefully no one has like a WeakAuras tracking it and be like, this shaman didn't use the damn thing. And you're Salatath yelling at us again. We don't have a Poison Cleansing Totem just now, so we're going to cleanse ourselves using our Cleanse Spirit. Heaving Wretch on me, we're going to use a defensive. Very nice. We're going to drop a Stun Totem right here. They're going to get stunned. In our Earthquake, I'm going to drop a Slow Totem on top of them. Hopefully keep them in that Earthquake for longer. Now we do have our Lava Totem, Liquid Magma Totem, whatever the heck you want to call it. We're going to just drop that, do some more single target DPS. I think I'm going to save my Storm Elemental for the next pull, which is likely going to be the Necromancer pull. There's not much else here that normally gets pulled. I'm going to try and reposition myself over here. Another one of these is out coming to get me. I didn't use the defensive. I really should have. We're going to try and jump over here to avoid the worm, and we're good. Holy crap. Okay. Paladin should have really cleansed that disease that was on me rather than just using a Holy Shock or two, but that is a-okay. This is a +2. People don't know what's going on for the most part. Respectable DPS. Even if I am stressed out, it is respectable DPS. We have a silence going into these. We're going to put focus on the mage and then look to do DPS on the necromancer. There's not much point in AoEing here. I just used an earthquake for no reason. Let's put it that way. We're going to single target the necromancer. Why? Because the necromancer, when it dies, all the adds that it has summoned are gone. Well, one thing I didn't point out is the thingy thing with the stuff. We're going to drop. Sorry, I'm so overwhelmed. The pulls are too short. I don't have time to explain what's going on. I'm so sorry. This commentary is a mess. But one thing I wanted to focus on there was the Ice Fury when it procs, right? You can get some good DPS out of that if you utilize it properly. So what you can do is basically weave in the two spells and get a bunch of, get the Elemental Blast out, which does a bunch of damage. Regarding weaving the two spells, Earth Shock and Earthquake, it's beneficial to do that even in single target if you have the right setup for talents. And you know how I was saving that Elemental for the thing? I didn't even use it for Didn't even use it. All right, let's just do this. I'm going to focus on actually DPSing. We have to purge that shield when it comes up. It's very important that I do that because otherwise I think it mitigates a bunch of damage and also does a bunch of damage. We don't have poison cleansing totem, so we're just going to focus on cleansing ourselves. If I can, I'll get another cleanse in for the paladin to not have to heal as much. We're going to put it on the druid, who should be able to take care of themselves as well, but they aren't doing so for whatever reason. We're going to grab one of these orbs real quick because I think it'll be useful for these upcoming necromancer pulls. I'm assuming the tank is going to take the 2 marauders into the necromancer. Very good. We're going to put a focus on the mage to avoid the volley. Drop this down. Put as many flame shocks up as possible, and now we Stormkeeper. We're going to... I failed my interrupt, but oh my goodness, I'm so overwhelmed. There's so much to do, and I don't know how to play this class properly yet, so I'm just a little bit overwhelmed, as you can see. I keep mentioning it, and I'm sorry if it's annoying, but it is definitely how I'm feeling right now. The 2 marauders were the reason I was spamming Chain Lightning instead of just, oh, we're going to kick that. Not today, sir. You don't get to fear my group. My tank's probably really happy about that fear. I think I need to use the spear first. Everyone kind of just left the spear to me. I'm not a huge fan of that. Drop poison cleansing totem, but focus on one of the mages, interrupt that frost volley, and now we can actually DPS. Trying to spread out my flame shocks again. We're going to do the ice fury thing because we're spamming. We are sending lava bursts into this person, into the necromancer. Again, don't AoE here if you don't have to for funnel, because the necromancer dies and then everything dies. We're going to kick this to make it all group up. Tank seems to be okay now. We have a Stormkeeper available. We don't have a primordial wave just yet, but we're going to have one soon. And I'm wasting a bunch of Maelstrom by not spending it. Again, my commentary is definitely suffering, or rather my gameplay is definitely suffering because of my commentary, but I feel like once I get a little bit more used to this rotation, I don't have to pay as much attention to it. Again, here we're looking for kicks on the Marauder. We don't want that fear to go through. That's not something we want. Tank is probably looking for that shield, or he just needs this for percent. I'm not sure. I'm going to go ahead. I cleansed someone else other than myself. I probably shouldn't have cleansed the tank. The tank could probably self-heal that off with a Feldev or something, but I will cleanse myself again here in a second. Oh, never mind. I think I was cleansed by someone else, or just the paladin healed it through. I am uncertain. Again, time to spread out my flame shocks. I failed to do so. I reapplied it to one target like a dum-dum. Stormkeeper. I need to start casting Stormkeepers between runs. I'm going to drop a stun totem on this. Make sure that our tank doesn't go down. I completely failed to utilize the orb, by the way, because I have the spear. I saw nobody else was picking up the spear, so I just went and picked it up myself. Tank's going to drag this into next. That's okay. I probably should have used Ascendance by now. It's been off cooldown for a little while, but these pulls are so short that it doesn't seem to matter. I'm going to go ahead and just run up here real quick to activate the next area. There's no reason for me not to do this. I am ranged. I should have used... I almost stood in that. I should have used Spirit Walker's Grace to just keep casting. But again, I'm pretty new to this, so I haven't had a chance to do these little optimizations and make use of them. Here was definitely a good opportunity to do so. I'm not going to spend any more cooldowns here. We're about to go into the next boss, and this thing is almost dead, so we're just going to go ahead and blast it with an Earth Shock and move on. Give a little bit of movement speed here. I'm going to ping the spear so somebody else takes it. I'm going to use this spear. Hopefully that person doesn't send their spear as well. They're not sending it. Good. Use everything and then blast the DPS. Or rather, use everything, then use Ascendance. So we're going to kick that volley. Okay, that volley failed. Hopefully the stun totem goes off. The stun totem did go off. We have a breath coming in here in a second. I got to just look for that. Good kick by the druid. Now we can focus back on our DPS. Breath is going to be coming in soon. We're going to start kicking some of these bolts. That's not a bolt, that's the breath. Okay. I failed to use that. Now for the next group, if another group spawns in, what I will do is I will use the orb. Finally getting a chance to use the orb. I probably should have used it there for the first group, but again, I am very overwhelmed right now. I'm just trying to keep up with what's happening. I don't have a poison cleansing totem, so we're going to cleanse ourselves and move on. I'm going to use the orb here, get closer to the mages, get closer to the other mage, drop this. I don't have primordial wave, so I just kind of wasted that, but we do have ice fury, so we're going to drop that onto the boss. If we don't cast the Earth Shocks, they're a DPS loss. Ooh, I was close. Thankfully, I have my jumpy thingy. I'm going to use Spirit Walker's Grace for no apparent reason and run away. Oh my goodness. I've rarely been this overwhelmed. Holy crap. Commentating this is kind of crazy, but I feel like I'm performing relatively well. I don't think my DPS is anything amazing, but I'm happy with it considering that I'm completely new to this. Not fully, absolutely completely new to this, but definitely not as experienced as I am on some other classes that I play a lot more. Like Red Paladin, I could commentate in my sleep. This, not so much, because I have to actually pay attention to what I'm pressing. To someone who's experienced with this class, it may seem like a complete no-brainer, but we're going to try and focus on the collectors here. Both of them are casting at the same time. Here, it would be really nice to have another orb. The collector cast is extremely dangerous. We're going to go ahead and just use all our cooldowns here. Time to prim wave it up. We're going to interrupt that gore splatter. The gore splatter is the group wiper. The gore splatter is the mind killer. Let the gore splatter wash over you and go through you. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know why I'm quoting Dune here, but I guess I'm doing it. Even with how flustered I got there, I still managed to do relatively decent DPS. Okay, let's drop this here. It's not on me. I don't care. The primordial wave, send out the lava bursts, and now we earth shock, earthquake, and just go to town on all this. Put a focus on this guy. I need to use my Tempest more often. I've been very bad about using my Tempest. I just used an Earthquake without Earth Shock beforehand, so that's a DPS loss right there. Minus 50 DKP for your boy here, but, you know, it works out in the end. I think we're going to pull through anyway. I just need more dots and hit it like I need to hit it like I mean it. And if you get that reference, you're an OG. If you don't, well, you're one of the few people that are young enough to not know that reference and still play World of Warcraft. Okay, let's see. Do I need to run over to some side, one side or another? One's on me. It's that one over there. We're going to try and get over here. There we go. We do have Stormkeeper available. I don't think on 2 targets. Okay, I'm just going to cast while moving. I can backpedal away from this, I think. I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to cast it properly. I know it's not great that I move it like this, but what can I do? This one's not on me, so I'm just going to move over here. This one didn't even cast the throw cleaver, or maybe it did, but nobody walked over to the thing because I kited it way too far away. I probably should have kited it in a circle around this one to keep it close enough for the throw cleaver to still hit. Fixation on our druid friend. That's all right. Another throw cleaver coming through. Our tank is taking it to the face, as he should. Good tank. You'll get treats later. We're just about short of percent. I think, do these count for percent? Yes, they do. So we have over percent. I'm going to go ahead and not send all of my cooldowns here, but I'm going to send my Stormkeeper and maybe the Storm Elemental. And I think I should be okay. I again need to use my Tempest, use my resources more. God damn, Salatat, you are loud as hell. Maybe not for you guys, but for me, she's incredibly loud. And even with how loud she is, I still almost forgot to send my totem to cleanse the poisons, or rather cleanse all the debuffs. But hopefully this debuff cleansing that I'm doing with the totem is helping out our healer. I'm going to go ahead and use, for the first time, Totemic Recall after using the Poison Cleansing Totem, so I can handle the next one as well, because I think the next one's going to happen in the middle of the boss fight, and I would like to have that available. Also, I just completely forgot that I have that as a button, so there's also that. Alright, let's blast the bejesus out of Rot Spew here. Now, if you didn't know, as melee, you don't actually have to move out of this stuff on the ground. All it does is it does the damage that he does with his body in that area. The initial hit does do damage, absolutely. It does a significant amount of damage, enough to make you want to use a defensive when you get hit by it in later levels. Like I just used one here, probably unnecessarily so, but you know, we'll deal with it. But yeah, as melee, you really don't need to move out of it. We're gonna drop this Poison Cleansing Totem, give us nice buffs. Hopefully somebody uses the spear on Stitch Flesh here once he gets hooked down. Building up resources using Stormkeeper, dropping this Primordial Wave, and now let's send out a bunch of lava bursts into the boss. Probably should be using my resources. I'm sending these into the goddamn thingy with the stuff instead of the boss. My apologies. I am stupid, didn't change target. But I think we might be able to drop him before anything else happens. He did get hooked a second time, luckily. We killed off the creation. We need to drop him down to 5% for this to actually work. He's below 5%. He now will not jump anymore, and that worked out. We killed him, one-phased him. Kind of expected for a +2 Necrotic Wake, but I'm still happy that I contributed, even though I blasted the stupid creation rather than anything else. We're going to immediately split off from the other DPS, ranged DPS, to make sure that I don't make any mistakes like trapping them in the binding if it goes on me. We're going to drop the Storm Elemental and this beautiful Stormkeeper thing that we have. Tank's getting very close to me. I don't want to be close to anyone. I have trust issues, but also there's the stupid binding that goes out. I don't have my cleansing totem, so we're going to just cleanse ourselves normally. We were not chosen as a sacrifice. Frozen binding is on me. Can I remove this with Ghost Wolf? I do not know. Actually, it seems like I can. Oh, I completely forgot about Bloodlust. Shit, yeah. I guess we Bloodlust when the DK comes back up. I didn't use it on the previous boss. I really should have. Maybe this is a good time to mention my WeakAuras are available on the D&V Discord. So if you like my WeakAuras as they are right now, you can go ahead and get those off the DNV Discord. DK's taking his sweet time getting back up here. Now is a bad time to Bloodlust because there's 2 people gone at the moment. DK hopefully doesn't immediately go to the boss. He's going to drop the big zone there. It's a very big zone. We're going to Bloodlust. DK's back. Frozen Bindings hitting multiple people if it gets cleansed over there. Freedom could be used to mitigate that. We're going to drop our Poison Cleansing Totem. I'm going to stand in the corner here. That's the best I can do for my group right now because of the giant area that's been denied to us. I'm going to move my ass over to the other corner. Hopefully that helps us a little bit more. I am fumbling my rotation, but at least I'm trying. Frozen Bind's on me, but the boss is dead and it doesn't matter anymore. Oh, we're just a second short of +3, or did we still get it? We still got +3, so we have a +5 key, and I feel like I should do that immediately. That is really funny. If I had played just a little better, if I had used a Bloodlust and stuff, it would have been this tight, but 0 deaths +2, that was pretty nice. Let's hit the group with, if you guys want to see yourself play for a bit, you can check out Definitely Not Vlad on YouTube. It will be out later today. I made a macro for it, yes. I even gave the macro an icon, so you know I'm super serious about it. See you around. I didn't get any loot, but that's kind of par for the course here. And that was a very quick Necrotic Wake. Holy crap. Oh! I'm still set to Valley of Honor. I'm not in Dornogal with my Hearthstone, so I just hearth my ass out of current X-Pack. See you around, peeps. I'm a peace out. That was super fast. That was incredibly fast. But what to expect from a plus, whatchamacallit? I just used my elemental. Why did I use my elemental? I wanted to go into Ghost Wolf. I want to go to Dornogal. Oh man, I think what I need to do is spend more time in front of training dummies. I really got to make this rotation feel like second nature. There is a lot of procs to pay attention to, and there's a lot of setup to the ramp. Like I need to, basically the opener is you elemental totem Stormkeeper. I drop this totem, Flame Shock, one target that doesn't have Flame Shock. Primordial Wave, another target that doesn't have Flame Shock. And then I Ascendance, and then I begin my actual rotation. So there's like 6 globals worth of setting up. And I know there's probably specs out there that are laughing at me like 6 globals, that's all you need. That's pretty quick. And I'm like, yeah, but things die so quickly, and I'm commentating. It's rough, man. It's rough. I'm looking forward to the higher keys, higher than 2, obviously, where this will be less of an issue. I think that'll be something to look forward to, where I actually get to properly do a rotation. Now, the +5 key that we got is Dawnbreaker with Tyrannical. So boss fights is where I'm going to practice my rotation for the most part. Trash still won't last very long, which is a bummer because I feel like electrocuting everything was pretty cool. But, you know, you play the hand you're dealt. Now, this is the point where I'm going to point out to you that this is the point where I'm going to point out to you that you can go and vote for what I play as a healer or melee DPS on whichever of those 2 ends up being the next one. Currently, it's very tight between Preservation Evoker and Discipline Priest, with Mistweaver coming in with a strong third, but pretty far behind them. So if you want some of the other specs to win, what you can do is vote every day. You can vote once a day. Once a day. I don't know why I said it with a V in front of once, but you can go vote once a day, and hopefully your preferred spec catches up and wins. So take a look into that and just keep spamming votes. I'm not sure yet which role is going to be next. That's probably going to be determined around episode 7 of this series. There's going to be 8 episodes for each series, 1 for each of the dungeons. Here we've covered Necrotic Wake as much as I could cover Necrotic Wake because it was a +2, so I didn't really get to talk about most of the stuff in the dungeon. It was mostly just me talking about how overwhelmed I am and trying to execute my rotation, which I guess I did okay for a 604. I probably could have done more, but the mobs just die so quickly I never get to use all of my cooldowns in the same thing. Anyway, I'm just getting carried away at this point. Around episode 7 is when we're going to choose which role gets picked next. Oh, our DK friend is whispering. Yes, it is. They asked if that's my YouTube channel, and I said yes, it is. But that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed it, drop a like, let me know what you liked about it in a comment down below. If you had fun, make sure you subscribe because there's more episodes coming. And if you're feeling particularly generous, you can become a channel member. Channel members have guaranteed replays to their comments, and they get nice little shoutouts at the beginning of videos. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode.